Good evening, race fans, and welcome to round number 5 of the Sim Racers Edge Alpha Series presented by ecency.com. We are here today at Pocono Raceway for the Tricky Triangle 120. My name is Mason Heimbaugh with Team Goon Squad, bringing you the action in 1080p 60 frames a second, joined alongside myself here as well, who I think stepped away for just a moment, but he will be back momentarily. Rick Ravon, going to be one of our in-race reporters for today's race as we get started for our qualifying here today. And if anyone is experiencing any technical issues on their end of the broadcast, I do apologize. It does seem like we are having some issues here with our internet. So hopefully that fixes itself, and we will continue on with our qualifying coverage here as drivers make their way out onto the track to start their first time laps of today. Brett Beasley going to be one of the drivers here today doing just that as we watch Brett Beasley in the 6.9 machine work his way down one of the 3 stretches of straights here as he works his way out of turn 2. And I gotta say, this is going to be one of the more interesting races out of this series, as there's going to be quite the challenge for all of these drivers here to keep things steady, keep things moving and grooving as things progress on through today. Now, excuse me, as I'm still trying to work out these technical issues here, trying to figure out what in the world is going on. Hopefully get things sorted out here.
Meanwhile, Mason has a special guest in the booth today. That would be me, Rick Ravon. And another little interesting wrinkle, I'm going to be driving in the race today, car number 7, the Gould Charge, and I will be with Mason in the booth today the entire day, or the entire race. And we're going to have some fun with this, aren't we, Mason?
Yeah, absolutely, Rick. It's going to be a lot of fun here, both in the booth and I'm sure down there on track. And it's great to have an in-race reporter here as we're looking at Nate Siefker, actually in the 2 machine, just ate the wall going into turn 1. And, yeah, that machine is definitely looking a little mashed up here. But looking here with Butch Davis in the 43, going to be on top of the tower here as he sets off his best time of a 41.94. Jeffrey Rowlett and Dan Brazington falling just behind in 2nd and 3rd place. Just to give you an idea of what this field is looking like right now with just under 2 minutes left to go in qualifying. I believe it's 2 minutes. Can't remember if it's 10 minutes or if it's 5 minutes here. I'm all over the place, Rick. 4 or 5 broadcasts a week. It's hard to remember all the fine details every now and again.
Well, I can imagine right now. I'm actually heading into turn 1 on my first flying lap. Going to take the wide way around. Just, trying to wind up the car, like Bobby Unser used to say, like a giant flywheel. Just kind of take the long way around. You still, they do that at Daytona, of course. And so I'm heading through turn 2. I'm going to be heading for 3. And then I'll be on my hot lap, and we'll see how that goes. But Butch Davis on the top of the chart right now. Not an unfamiliar spot for Butch to be in, I'll tell you what. Jeffrey Rowlett in 2nd. He's also lightning quick. We expected a little bit more out of Nate Siefker because he's probably pretty much the fastest guy in the field on somewhat of a regular basis. But, yeah, so on my first lap was pretty slow. We'll see what happens here.
And it definitely seems like a lot of guys might have some struggles here. Drivers that we've seen very, very fast in this competition, or in this series already. And Pocono seems to be one of the tracks where you either love it or you hate it. And I think tonight is going to be one of those races where drivers are either going to be itching to get this thing done and over with, or they're just going to be out there having a great time. What do you think, Rick?
I think it's going to be a little bit of both as I take the checkered flag to complete my run. Let's see where I end up. P15, absolutely horrible qualifying run for me, but we'll see what happens. The race is it's a long race, long way to go, and we'll see what happens. But I think it's a little bit of both. These drivers today, first of all, just about everybody in the field is like an A-lister. These guys are just quality. So I think you're going to see people around, around like fireflies, because the track is so grippy. So you're going to see it's almost going to be like a plate race, but not quite. But you're going to see these guys running right together for most of the race. The tires really don't fall off as much as you would think. This is the newer version of the newest, I should say, version of Pocono, as Butch Davis gives the drivers meeting right now as we speak. But this is the newer version of Pocono, so it does have a ton of grip, and the tire wear really isn't that significant. I did a full fuel run, and I still had about 93% on my right front. So, and the right front takes a beating. So that's pretty good tire wear for a track like this.
Yeah, absolutely. And considering those things as well, you're able to stay at least reasonably within the same kind of same window of pace, if you will, where I see it on a lot of different tracks where, 30, 40 laps in, you're seeing 5-6 seconds of difference between your starting pace and where you're at on your current tire wear. And yeah, it's really good to see when tracks are very well engineered, very well put together, that allow these drivers to really just continue their races as fast as they possibly can and keep it that way for as long as possible. You don't really see that a whole lot. So when these guys have that chance and to really put on these kind of exciting, fast-paced races, especially here at Pocono, I gotta say, Rick, I'm pretty antsy here. I'm on the edge of my seat. I don't know how this is going to go here for these guys. This is the first season I've been here with Sim Racers Edge for the Alpha Series. And frankly, I'm just, knowing Pocono, I'm just a little curious. I'm wondering how this field is going to tackle this. I wonder how the end is going to show up for us, and who is going to end up at the top and take home the win here for today.
Well, you have every reason to be antsy, because this is going to be one of those white knuckle races. It's pretty much flat out, unless you're behind, 2 or 3 cars. You kind of want to run, off center of the car that you're following. Other than that, I mean, if you're alone out here, you can literally run foot to the floor, flat out, for your entire fuel stint. Make a couple of adjustments to your roll bars and your weight jacker, because as those tires start to go away, like I said, the fronts don't wear as badly as the rears. So you're definitely going to want to make a couple of adjustments as the run goes on. But you can run flat-footed around this place if you're by yourself and not behind somebody's wake. This is going to be a crazy race. I think it was pretty much unanimous last season. The guys in the field that raced this race, they all said that was a classic. It was the best race of the entire season. So nothing has really changed here. I'm pretty sure they're using the same setup as they did from the last season. Same racetrack. Not sure about the weather conditions, but judging by what I'm feeling here in practice, you're going to see a field of, how many do we have here? 20, 25 cars? You're going to see pretty much all 25 cars running right together.
Yeah, this field is looking to be quite exciting for this race here today. And, I got to say, going from last week, coming into this week, who do you think is going to be at the top today? Who do you think is really going to excel here at Pocono? As we're going to take a quick look here at our last race results and kind of get an idea of who was up at the top. Butch Davis taking home the win for Race 4. Nate Siefker in second, and Chad Simpson taking home third.
The usual suspects. I would probably take Butch as my number 1 pick. Then Nate Siefker, Chad Simpson. These are guys who are, who we constantly see at or near the top of the chart on a weekly basis. But I mean, you've got a lot of guys here that have a good shot at the win. Chris Samard is good. Jeff Hollingsworth. These guys are all, and Lyle Swearington, by the way, who's our defending race winner, the last race he won. Brett Beasley should be tough. There's a lot of guys out here that really have a legitimate shot to win this thing. But if you're going to ask me to, let's say, take a top 3, I would say Butch Davis, Nate Siefker, and Chad Simpson. Can't count out myself, though. I know my way around here pretty good, but if qualifying is any indicator, it's not looking too good for the Gould Charge tonight.
Well, hopefully things get a little bit better for you, Rick, in that 17. And as the race goes on, I'm sure you'll have plenty of things to say. And
Oh,
really,
I'm in the 17. I should be in the 7.
You should be in the 7.
Yeah, it should be the car number 7. That's a little there, but all right, I'll take the 17.
Yeah, sometimes.
Well, it's funny, my birthday is July 17th, so that's 7/17. So I guess either one. They're interchangeable, right?
Yeah, I think that'll work either way. But as we have our grid lined up here, Butch Davis in the 43 going to be starting out in first place with Chad Simpson in the 42. Going to be in second place, rounding out your first row with Jeffrey Rowlett. In the 66, going to be in third, Dan Brazington. In the 29, going to be in fourth place, rounding out your second row. Nate Siefker in the 2 machine in that 5 spot, with Bentley Glazer in the 7, going to be in that 6th place spot in your third row. Chris Simard going to be in 7th place. Mike Grandy in 8th. Timmy Bates in 9th. Brett Beasley in 10th place. Lyle Swearingen in 11th. Jose Phillips in 12th. Yari Brupatcher in 13th. Jeff Hollingsworth in 14th. Rick Ravon, our in-race reporter for today's race, in 15th.
Yeehaw!
Jake Walsh in 16th. Ron Hollifield in 17th. Ernie Ludwig in 18th. Kevin Young in 19th. Mark McFadden in 20th. Kevin O'Brien rounding out the field in 21st. Wow. 21 drivers here at Pocono, folks. This is going to be quite an exciting race, as Rick has already said it himself, as well as I. So, get ready as the drivers get themselves lined up behind the pace car. Rick, what are you thinking here is going to happen on this first start of the race?
Well, Butch Davis gives a really thorough, statement in the drivers' meeting. He cautioned everybody, it's a long race. Let's be patient. Let's be safe out there and take care of one another. So, the drivers, they tend to sort of latch on to that. It sticks with them. Butch is a very influential figure. He has a way to sort of get through to you, if you know what I mean, if that makes sense. So I think we're going to see the first several laps and maybe beyond without an incident. It's very possible because, like I said before, this is a good quality field of drivers. But however, we are still human beings, and none of us is a true professional race car driver. So somebody could make a mistake, and these cars are all together right now at the start of the race. So anything can happen. If anybody gets a little aggressive and maybe makes it 3 wide, and somebody just happens to make some kind of a mistake, we could have an incident on the first lap. But let's hope not, because these cars do not have fast repairs. SRE does not give fast repairs. So if you make a mistake and your car is damaged, you're going to tow yourself back to the pits, and it's going to be the pits for you, because there's a good chance you might be out of the race as we're coming through turn 3, ready to get the green flag and kick this race underway.
There, Rick said it. The green flag is about to fly. The pace car getting itself ready to work its way into pit road. There it goes. Drivers making their way, and there we go. We are green flag racing here at Pocono for the Tricky Triangle. 120 into turn 1 we go. Chad Simpson, Butch Davis going to be side by side. Look at that, 2 wide. The whole field going 2 wide as they work their way into turn 1. Everyone giving each other a lot of space here. Love to see that up here in the booth. Dan Brazington, Jeffrey Rowlett, both going to be almost wheel to wheel there for just a moment. Dan going to be the one able to work his way just a little bit out in front. Look at that. Butch Davis getting worked out from that first place position by Chad Simpson. The 42 now going to be leading this race here as they work their way into turn 3 and out going towards the final turn here. Oh, man, Rick, how are you feeling right now at this start? This has been quite the start, and everyone here giving each other a lot of room, but everyone here is also fighting for positions, and also, man, it looks like going into these turns here as well, looking at Jeffrey Rowlett going in at the 66 machine, he bobbing and weaving here a little bit. It definitely seems like it might be a little tricky to make passes here. What are your thoughts on that, Rick?
Well, it definitely is, and I'll tell you, I just made it 4 spots. I think I'm running in 11th right now, so it was a pretty good start for us. But in dirty air, the more cars you have in front of you, the dirtier that air gets, and whoo, car could be a handful.
Absolutely. It definitely looks like a handful. And looking at the back of the field here, it looks like possibly Kevin O'Brien in the 84 machine might have possibly had some issues here that we didn't quite catch here up in the booth, but it looked like for a moment that he was kind of wiggling there coming out of 3. Not exactly sure if that was the case, but Kevin O'Brien still holding on to that 19th place spot, up two positions from where he started in that 21st place spot at the beginning of the race here. But looking up front here, Chad Simpson, Butch Davis, both going to be almost wheel-to-wheel. Butch Davis down low as they work their way out of turn 3. Butch Davis now going to be leading this race here once again as Chad Simpson falls back. Well, looked like he was going to go back behind the wing of that 42, but no, he's going to go down on the inside coming into turn 1 here. You can see the field behind them, all single file practically for the majority of the field. A couple drivers going double file here and side to side here and there, but for the most part, everyone's just staying calm, collected. That's pretty much the name of the game here. When you have the start of the race, 124 laps here at Pocono, you don't want to give it your all right at the start. Now, you don't necessarily want to let the guys around you just pass you, but you also don't want to put yourself in a position where you might be getting into another driver, maybe even getting yourself into the wall due to washing up a little bit coming out of the turn, whatever the case may be. And Pocono is definitely the place where these things are the most likely to happen, in my opinion.
Well, it's been a great race so far, a great battle up front. As for me, I've moved into 7th place, so it's looking pretty good so far. Let's hope it stays like that.
Yeah, and what do you think right now? How does the track feel right now? Is the grip feeling pretty good? Is there any certain part of the track that feels a little bit looser than others, or how is it feeling right now here at Pocono?
The track feels great right now. I think the temperatures are just about perfect. Very conducive to good close racing, and I'm setting up Chris Simard right now going into turn 1. Let's hope we can make it stick in 1.
Yeah, right as we tune in to the 77 of Chris Simard, Rick Ravon, our in-race reporter, on the inside, coming out of 1, in front of the 77, taking that 6th place spot. Great work there, Rick. You're doing quite the job there in that 17 machine, but told me it was the 7 machine a little bit earlier, so there might have been a little bit of confusion on the SDK part here in the booth, but that's a-okay. It usually happens at least once a week. But anyway, here looking at our race right now, everyone's still maintaining pretty good pace right now. No one's too far off of one another. I'm seeing here up here in the timing, pretty close to one another. It looks like there's a little bit of a gap here between 7th and 8th place of about a little over a second right now that's separating kind of this front of the field from everyone else. But even with that in mind, everyone here is finding any spot on the track for battles, trying to make any positions that they can early on in this race. Now, going forward, as we kind of settle into this race, Rick, where do you expect drivers to start to kind of plan their pit strategy if they haven't done so already? And when do you think is going to be the proper time to start coming down that pit road to start off your pit cycles for this race?
Yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, some guys might be conserving. I've got Dan Bracington right in front of me and Bentley Glazer. They've dropped back from the leaders, Simpson, Davis, and Secret, who, by the way, are the top 3. Are they not the 3 that I predicted would be up top? And there they are. But some guys might be conserving fuel. I'm not conserving fuel. I'm going to the wall right now. I just want to see what this car can do and see what it could do in traffic. I might start conserving fuel, maybe a little bit later after I see, what's what. But Chris Simard, the gentleman that I just got past a few laps ago, no surprise that I was able to get by him, not because he's a bad race car driver, but because he's a very smooth, conservative, smart driver. Chances are he probably just let me go because, like I said, he's very smart. He's not the kind of guy who's going to get into a dogfight with you early or something like that. So no surprise I was able to get by.
Yeah, it's not surprising, too, that you'll see a lot of drivers kind of take that same strategy where it's, you don't want to be too aggressive early on in the race. usually ends up worse for yourself than it does benefiting you. Unless you are Dale Earnhardt behind the wheel and are absolutely...
3 wide going into turn 1, Mason. Look at that.
Let's take a look here. As our drivers come out of turn 1,
They are really fighting it out up there.
they really are, and I have to agree. These guys all up here in the front, Chad Simpson, Butch Davis, Nate Siefker, all single file. Look at that, Butch Davis going up top as they work their way out of turn. I believe that's turn 3. That is correct. But Chad Simpson still managing to stay out on top of this, and it looks like he might have the line work, the pace to be able to hold this. But Butch definitely seems like he is on the attack right now. But I gotta wonder, Rick, is that gonna kind of play into his pit strategy? He might be kind of wearing on those tires a little bit more, trying to make these attacks lap after lap, turn after turn. It might not affect him too much, but looking here right now, Butch Davis has been on the attack every single turn that I've been watching him, and I can't imagine that's going to be too kind on your tires.
Well, like I said before, the tire wear here is actually pretty excellent. You wouldn't expect for an oval with the speeds that we're reaching here, over 230 miles an hour, that the tire wear would be as good as it is, but tire wear is pretty good, so these guys are going to be able to go at it like this, lap after lap, for some time. I'm surprised to see how aggressive they're being right now, but you know what? By the same token, they're also having a lot of fun, and the other thing you have to consider is that these guys trust one another. Simpson, Davis, Siefker, they're all extremely trustworthy behind the wheel.
Yeah, and watching all of these guys race right now, they all seem very comfortable around one another. They're not... Watching Butch Davis from Nate Siefker's point of view right now, you can see the distance that Butch is giving Chad Simpson going into one here. There's the respect that these guys have for one another. It's obvious. It's very clear. You can see that these guys don't want to put each other in a detrimental situation. They don't want to put each other out of the race. They want to keep racing like this. Who wouldn't? If you're a driver and you have good competition like this, this is why we do this sport. Am I wrong? This kind of racing is exactly what drivers want to have. This is exactly why they do things like this. So,
yeah, they're having fun out there.
Exactly, they're having a blast. And looking here at Nate Siefker now in that 2 machine as he takes the charge to the rear of the 43 of Butch Davis. Oh man, he looks like he might be setting himself up for a pass here. He looks down on the inside of the 43 going into turn 2. They're almost going to be side by side, but Butch Davis able to hold on to that speed just a little bit more. Butch Davis still on the tail of Chad Simpson as they work their way into turn 3 and out towards the front stretch here once more. Rick, this has been a lot of just tense, very, very tense, steady racing right now.
I told you this was going to be a good one.
You hit the nail right on the head, Rick.
Meanwhile, me, Bentley Glazer, and Chris Samard, we're beginning to run down those top 3, and we're going to be up there in just a lap or 2.
Yeah, and I was just picking up on that here as well. It's very interesting to watch too how these cars are able to kind of work together in their drafts and kind of group back up, if you will. You see it in a lot of other series. You see it in ARCA. You see it in you see it in Formula One, where everything just kind of gets extremely spread out, and there's not a whole lot of very tight racing. Whereas you come to here, you come to an IndyCar race, you come to the Alpha Series here with Sim Racer's Edge, and it's a completely different type of setting, type of racing, and it's really, really great to see. As we're watching here right now with Rick Rayvon, who's actually leading in front of Chris Simard and Mike Grandy. And Rick, you are actually looking quite comfortable right now, in 5th place right now. Are you you seem to be tracking down these top 4 right now.
Yellow flag,
Oh,
yellow
yellow
flag.
is out. Yellow flag. The first one comes out. Lyle Swearing getting involved. He is going to be down on the bottom. Looks like out of turn 2, I think. Yeah, that was going into turn 3. So let's take a look at the replay of what happened here to the 68 machine as he comes out of, this is turn 1. The exit of 1 coming down the back straight. Nope, this is 2 actually. Okay, so this is queued right up where I would want it to be. And there he goes, just gets loose on his own right out of 2. Tries to correct it. Locks up his, no, not quite locks up. There he goes. There he locks it up. Down on the bottom of the back straight of 2. And Rick, do you think that there's going to be some spots here on the track where this is going to be more consistent, more incidents like this are going to happen, or do you think things are pretty stable out on track and this is just kind of a one-off situation where it's just...
Yeah, I think it's probably going to be like a one-off situation. I mean, there could be more incidents. Like I said, you know, well, yellows breed yellows, right? You know the old saying. But we got through the first 17 laps without a caution, or 16. I think we were just about to begin the 17th. So that's pretty good. And I kind of predicted that. You know, these guys are good guys. They're good, clean, safe racers. They're hard racers. They're having a hell of a good race up front, and now we're all heading into the pits.
Yeah, here we go. Starting off the first pit cycle of the race, lap 17 of 124. So it's going to be interesting to see here who's going to take full advantage of this. Maybe take a change of tires. I highly doubt that, but at least get a splash of fuel and extend their pit stop time.
Yeah, they'll be getting tires. Everybody will be getting tires because it takes. We have 15-gallon tanks here, so just as long as it takes to fill up the tanks, you could get fresh tires. So definitely going to be tires and fuel every stop.
All right, Rick Ravon, you heard it here first. You heard it here first, folks. Twisted my words here on the tongue a little bit. See, this is why I have someone like Rick here in the booth with myself here. Someone who's been watching the sport since, what year you say it was again? 1985?
No, even farther back than that, 1982.
Oh, man, Rick, you're making me feel way too young here.
You're making me feel old.
Well, either way, Rick, it's great to have you here in the booth and helping me here tonight. It's definitely great having someone with as much knowledge as yourself and definitely with as much talent as yourself, racing in 5th place and also calling the action while you're doing it. So got to give props to the 17/7 of Rick Ravon here tonight. Thank you again for joining me in the booth.
Well, thank you. I have something else to say. I don't know what Jose... Wait, how many names does this guy have? Jose Miguel Phillips Vigura, I guess, is his name. Right now, he's the car that's behind the pace car. He's leading the race, but I don't think he made a pit stop. Now, unless he made a pit stop at some point during green early in the run, he should be coming in. So let's keep an eye on him. No, it looks like he's going to stay out.
That's an interesting move from the 48 here. And I got to wonder if maybe...
Oh, Mason, I'm sorry to interrupt you. I just got a report. I just heard something on the radio. I don't think Butch Davis has any sound. He's having trouble with his audio. And he just keyed up and said it's very difficult to do this without sound. I'm not sure if that means he can't hear his race car or he can't hear the people talk, but there's a problem right now with Butch Davis. And by the way, he's fallen back quite a bit. Where is he? I'm looking back. Butch is all the way at the back of the pack after leading a few laps. He's all the way at the back, running 21st right now, Mason.
Yeah, coming in, working his way now into turn 1, going to be joining at the rear of the field here. You know, and that's one of the things here that a lot of people might not really be aware of about sim racing. You know, sim racing is one of those, I don't want to say sports, but it is one of those things where it is definitely a sport.
Yeah.
But my point being, it's when you take away one of those cues, one of those senses, I guess you could say, being able to see the track is one thing, you know, whether that's VR, a single screen, triple screens, projector, whatever your setup is. Hearing what's going on around you is a completely other thing. If you can't hear what's going on around you, if you can't hear the air, if you can't hear your tires spinning, if you can't hear your crew chief, if you can't hear the drivers coming up around you, that makes...
If you lose any one of those things, Mason, it's definitely a hindrance.
Yes.
No question about it, as we're about to go green.
Yes, absolutely. So, with that in mind, Butch Davis definitely going to be... Oh, man, my condolences go out to Butch Davis here as we go green flag once more with Jose Vigura in the 48. Going to be leading this race after not coming down pit road last time around. It's going to be an interesting start here as Rick Ravon actually works his way into turn one, down on the bottom, and into first place. Our in-race reporter now leading the race as Jose Vigura falling back, actually now going to be on the inside, working their way into turn two. You can see Nate Siefker also kind of slowly working his way, falling back now, single file here as we work our way into turn three. Rick Ravon down on the outside of the 48, but looks like Jose being a little bit lighter, I would have to imagine, able to keep up his speed just enough to stay out in front for now. But I wonder how long it's going to be before that 48 decides to make its way here into pit road. But behind these drivers, Bentley Glazer, Chad Simpson, going to be duking it out for that fourth place spot, almost wheel to wheel. You can see all the field behind them, also starting to settle single file here. Once again, lap 21 of 124 here at Pocono for the Sim Racers Edge Alpha Series presented by ecency.com. Oh,
yeah,
Rick.
I don't know. I would love to just lead a lap here, and it looks like we're going to be able to do it. Here we come. Yep. And we led a lap. Okay, I'm happy. I could die happy now.
And again, our in-race reporter is actually leading the race right now. I can't stress how awesome that is. That is absolutely incredible as Nate Siefker in the 2 machine follows behind the 17 of Rick Ravon, Jose Vigura, who's initially started this restart, falling back into third place now and actually starting to fall off the pace quite significantly. So I got to wonder if he's going to be thinking about coming down pit road next time around, possibly. I don't know.
I don't know why he didn't pit. I have no explanation for that. I think it's foolish. Collectively, we had about 5 gallons left in the tank as Nate shoves his nose on my outside inexplicably. And I don't know what he's trying to do here. Like he's trying to show me who's the boss by doing something like that. Wow. What a move. I'm going to just let him go here. He obviously wants to lead, and he wants it really bad. Car number 1, by the way, Nate Siefker in car number 1. He earned that number by winning the championship in the last season. So this guy's a force to be reckoned with here. He always is, every racetrack.
Yeah, it definitely. Nate Siefker, we have seen race week in, week out. We have seen Nate Siefker absolutely putting as much effort as he can into every single race. And honestly, we've seen him in the same position time after time. Excuse me. As he works his way down on the inside, coming out of turn 1 down the back straight. Or is it really the back straight? You can kind of call it the right straight.
Yeah, we call it the Long Pond straightaway. It definitely is considered the back straightaway here at Pocono. And by the way, just a comment on the start of that restart. I don't know what happened to, let me look at his name now. Jose Miguel Phillips Vigura. I don't know what happened to him on that start, the restart, but the field kind of checked up behind him, and I just took advantage of it. I mean, I was close to passing before we got to the start-finish line, underneath, which is a big no-no. And now Nate's trying to feed me dirty air as we go through 1 and 2. I'll be sure to return the favor next time around.
So here you hear it here, folks. We got a little bit of competition brewing between the two, or, well, actually, I've been corrected, the 1 of Nate Siefker. Unfortunately, SDK is not updated on that, but I'm sure I'll figure out how to change that for next time. But anyway, anyhow, Rick Rayvon, Nate Siefker, first and second place. Got those two flipped around there, but either way, these two have been in the front for quite a bit now. And looky here, Butch Davis.
How do you like it, Nate?
Oh no! Well, sounds like we got some issues brewing up here in the front of the field.
And look at Nate, left and right. Whoa, this boy's getting real aggressive here. You were going to say about Butch, though. I'm sorry, Mason.
It's okay. It's okay. But looking here with Butch Davis, though, it seems like whatever issues he was having, looks like he might possibly have got it worked out. I'm not exactly too certain on that. I can't say that 100% for now, but in 12th place right now, actually, he's slowly working his way up this field very, very quickly here. I'm not sure if he's just swinging it and just saying, you know what, I'm just going to do the best I possibly can with no audio and just pretend that I'm a deaf race car driver. I don't know what else you would do in that situation.
I don't know what audio isn't working for him. I'm curious to find out.
Yeah, and I'm kind of wondering if it's maybe just his headphones aren't working, if he's using headphones or speakers or something along those lines. Yeah, definitely we'll have to figure out what exactly is going on with the 43 of Butch Davis and see what is going on there. As looks like Jose Vigura actually finally making his way down into pit road for the very first time after 28 laps. So really extending that pit strategy there. Kind of an interesting strategy there. I don't exactly have words for that, Rick. I'm kind of at a loss here, but you're still in the lead of this race, and Nate Siefker is not exactly letting up on you whatsoever. So I can't imagine you can comment on the pit strategy of Jose Vigura too much right now as we cross the line. 29 laps here at Pocono. Wow, look at these guys serpentining around the track. That was such a beautiful view. There's no way I could ever reproduce that. That was incredible. Anyway, Nate Siefker able to take the lead, but Rick Rayvon not letting up here. Chad Simpson also working his way into the mix here slowly. Third place right now, falling behind the one machine of Nate Siefker, going down out of turn 3 onto the front stretch. Chris Simard now working his way down the bottom on the inside of Chad Simpson, the 77. Chris Simard now going to be wheel to wheel here, battling for third place. Rick, man, how are you feeling right now? Lap 30, and Nate Siefker is not letting up on you, and you're starting to get a little bit more competition crawling in behind you. What's kind of going on there up there in second place?
Well, knowing Nate as well as I know him, and we've been racing together for 4 years. I know him so well. He's such a good kid. I call him kid. He's in his early 20s, but works very hard for a living. He's one of those youths that we really need in this country, and I like this kid a lot. I know him. We're having fun right now. We're going back and forth. We're not going to take each other out or do something stupid, but there's a little bit of wiggling back and forth, a little bit of ducking and diving, and we're just having fun right now. This is a fun racetrack. It's the kind of racetrack where you could get away with doing stuff like that without putting the other guy in danger. And look at him all the way on the bottom now. How funny is that? He's just going to stay down. I could easily go down there and draft him, and but hey, we're just having fun. This is a blast. Got Chad Simpson running in third place, who's pretty much right behind me, and then Chris Simard is right behind him. So there's a good group of guys running up front right now.
Yeah, and watching you guys kind of just swap back and forth the lead. Nate Siefker he challenges you on the inside, and then you reciprocate, do the same thing on the next turn. It's kind of beautiful to watch. It's kind of like watching like an orchestra. It's pretty great to see as we continue on lap 32 of 124, and kind of gonna go run through the field here right quick, just to kind of give you an idea of where everyone's at and how they're doing. Rick Rayvon, our in-race reporter, leading the race still currently with Nate Siefker, who has been giving him quite the trouble for quite a number of laps here, and I don't think is going to see that go away anytime soon here. But
nah, these tires don't wear out very much, so we could keep this up for the entire stint, believe me.
There it is, folks. Hopefully we'll see that happen, and we'll see how this progresses. But Chad Simpson going to be in third place in that 42 machine. Chris Simard in the 77 in fourth place right now, with Bentley Glazer in that fifth place spot. All five of these drivers kind of all starting to group up very, very close to one another, starting to get bunched up. And guess who is also joining us here in the top five? Take a lucky guess here, Rick.
In the top five, let me guess. Could it possibly be, as I look back, let's see, Nate Schaefer, Chad Simpson.
Almost in the top five.
Chris Simard, Bentley Glazer. Oh, Butch Davis. No surprise there. That guy's one of the best racers in the, if not the best right now, in this series. Look at the way Nate cut right in front of me. Isn't that funny? Oh, I don't know if you saw it or not, but just hilarious. I love it. Love this kid.
As we see all kinds of battles happening out on track, and you heard it here from Rick. Butch Davis, one of the most talented drivers here in the Sim Racers Edge Alpha Series, and it definitely is showing. In whether or not he is racing on deaf ears, I guess we'll call it, that's it. It's impressive, absolutely impressive that he's able to keep up here with the front of the field and stay in sixth place right now, and still on the charge, working his way up. He's got a little bit of time to close between himself and Chad Simpson. It looks to be about 0.3 seconds that he'll have to close, which isn't very much, and then I'm sure he'll be able to close that within a turn or two, if anything. But looking up here in front, Rick, you are still just trying to hold off Nate Siefker, and look at that. Wow. You tried to give him, you tried to stay.
Do the old switcheroo right there.
This is absolutely fantastic. Oh my gosh. So Rick's you're absolutely trying to do everything you can to stay out in front of Nate Siefker. It's bobbing and weaving all over the place. And I think honestly at this point Nate's kind of just expecting it and just waiting for the perfect time to weasel his way down low and make that pass again. But you guys are just kind of swapping back and forth this position every turn. Being that it's lap 36 of 124, and given that we're seeing yet another really good green flag run here, how do you think this is going to progress? What do you expect to happen here in the next, let's say, 10 laps?
It's hard to say. I got to look at my fuel tank. Let me see what we have here. Actually, we're going to make pit stops in 4 to 5 laps. Those who are not saving fuel right now are going to be doing the pits in the next, I'd say, 4 to 5 laps. Those who are saving fuel a little bit longer than that, but again, me and Nate, we're just having fun. I'm just going to stick on him. I'm going to stick to his butt like white on rice.
Yeah, and that's about the only thing that you can do here in this situation. You don't want to fall off the pace. You don't want to put yourself in a situation where you're going to get passed and you put down even more positions. But
now, Chris Simard just came around me. By the way, that Pennzoil paint scheme, for those that don't know, Butch Davis painted most of the field. He painted most of the cars in the field, and right now, Chris Simard has a new Pennzoil paint scheme, and I was sitting there in Discord with Butch as he was painting this car. Just a phenomenal job and a beautiful paint scheme for Simard.
Absolutely. As we get a kind of an up-close look of the 77 of Chris Simard in that Pennzoil paint scheme for today's race, and actually starting to challenge Nate Siefker for that first place spot here as they work their way into turn 1. Chris looking down low, but Rick also up high going into turn 1. Oh man, very, very good work for Chris. Most drivers, what they'll do as they come out of the turn, they'll usually draft up to the high side of the track and kind of hug up against the wall, at least in most of the races that I've been in. But what we just saw there from the 77 of Chris Simard, that situational awareness, being aware that there's someone else up high and not letting yourself drift up to them and cause a wreck, that is the kind of racecraft that we love to see. You don't see that a lot, and it's really, really great to see that here tonight. And look at that, Rick Ravon, Nate Siefker, both almost touching wheels there as they work their way into turn 1 down the back stretch. Oh, man, these two side by side here, giving each other still plenty of room. Rick trying to defend his way into turn 2. Oh, man, Nate's giving him everything he's got. And my, oh, my, this is quite the battle to witness here. Rick, how are you feeling right now?
Yeah, I'm having such a blast. I love racing with Nate. Like I said, I've been racing with this kid for 4 years. You know, he knows every trick in the book, and I know all the tricks that he knows. So we're just going at it, having fun.
Yeah, and, you know, and it's always great to see a group of drivers come together.
Oh, by the way, I need to come into the pits this lap.
Oh, so here you hear from our in-race reporter. 1 lap before we expect at least the 17 to come down into pit road, so our race leader will come down this next lap. So that's going to be interesting to see here. I will be looking at who is going to reciprocate that and do the same here. And there we go. You can see Rick working his way into pit road. No one else following suit. Man, that might... Rick, do you think that's going to kind of put you at an advantage here?
Later, later. Not. If anything, if it turns out to be a fuel mileage race, I'll be at a disadvantage. But I just heard Nate say he's coming in on the next lap, and so is Chris Samard. So expect some more to be coming in on it. I'm the first one to come in on this run, so obviously I was using up the most fuel.
Yeah, so with that in mind, you know, we're kind of seeing here, let's see. So lap 42, driver's going to be coming in this time around. Last time they came down pit road was lap 17. So just under 20 laps here, it seems like, or just about 20 laps for our pit laps, pit cycles here. That's kind of interesting here as well. That's going to throw a lot of gears, a lot of wrench in the gears for some drivers, I think, as far as where they're placing themselves. And like you said, Rick, if you're a little bit too aggressive on your fuel, you're having to come in a little bit earlier. If it's a fuel mileage
Nate's
run.
in the pits, by the way. He's just coming out of the pits. We're heading into turn 1 to see if I can get the lead back as we go into turn 1. Butch Davis is in the pits. Nate is in turn 1. Chris Samard is in turn 1. I got past Samard. Looking at Nate. Nate runs down to the bottom as he usually does. He knows there's nothing he could do. I've got him in my sights, and I should get him by turn 3.
Here as we see it, looking with the 17 of Rick Ravon as they come out of turn 2, setting himself up for turn 3, down on the inside of the 2 of Nate Siefker. And around he goes out of turn 3, down the front straight. And assuming that's going to give the 17 the lead here as we cross everyone in pit road. And still Rick giving Nate a hard time as they work their way into turn 1. And Butch Davis also going to be on the low side of turn 1 there. So great work from both of you guys working your way around that lap traffic there, avoiding them.
Butch Davis is also a master of getting in and out of the pits as smooth and quick and efficient as he possibly can. So no surprise that he's running in third now.
Yeah, absolutely. Seeing that 43 back up here in the front, you know, even with the woes that it sounded like he was having earlier, coming back and recouping that, and back up here in the top 3, can't discredit that 43 machine, giving it his all for today's race. As Rick, you retake the lead. It actually looks like Ernie Ludwig is technically still our race leader, but his last time in was lap 18. So I fully expect the 26th, there he goes, into pit road he goes. So Rick, once you come out of turn 3 here and across the line, that's going to give you the lead here once again, but Nate Siefker still on your inside. And as we get kind of about 15 laps to go or so before we're at that halfway mark in the race, just kind of seeing how things are going right now, it almost kind of looks like, I don't know, it might be Nate Siefker or Rick Ravon and a Butch Davis podium here tonight.
Well, I was hoping that I would be up here with the top three, and so far so good. But somehow something happened to Chad Simpson, incidentally, because Chad did not have a good pit stop. He is almost a lap down. Me, Nate, and Butch and Chris Samard back there as well. But we're all closing in on Simpson. So I have no idea what happened to Simpson, but he's about to go a lap down.
Yeah, you were watching with him right now as he crosses the line, and you can see all the drivers in the front about to make their way around the lonely 42 machine. And yeah, I am kind of curious what happened to the 42. It looking here in timing, he was in pit road for almost a minute and 30 seconds. So definitely seemed like he might have had some damage done to the car possibly, or maybe there was some technical difficulties he was having. I don't exactly know, but definitely is going to hurt his race here tonight, down into 20th as it currently stands.
Well, if his car isn't damaged, then he could still be good to go. I mean, even if he does fall a lap down, I believe this league gives lucky dogs. So if they do, Chad will be the first one, to get the lap back. So we'll see what happens, but we're all running him down right now.
Yeah, we can see now Butch Davis here as well. Also starting to close in on that 17 here as we work our way with lap traffic here. Chad Simpson in that 42. Going to be trying to keep his way
That's Butch Davis's teammate, by the way, Chad Simpson.
Okay.
And he's also a great guy. I think he's about 30 years old. He's been sim racing for something like 15 years. And
wow.
He's just a great guy. The defending series champion.
So with Chad Simpson and Butch Davis both up here kind of in the front, even though Chad Simpson not technically here in the lead, I almost have a feeling here that Chad's going to be maybe not necessarily working against you, but might
possibly... You know what, Mason, on a track like this, there's really not too much you could do to help somebody because the racetrack really does lend itself to... it's a very wide racetrack. So it's not like you can kind of block or get the dirty air. Turns 1 and 2 are so wide, you could take any one of 3 or 4 different lines through that corner. Turn 2, you could get by side. There's an inside and an outside. And there's also about 3 grooves, maybe 4, that you could get through in turn 3. As Butch Davis comes by me and picks up the lead.
Butch Davis, the 43, after some technical woes just a few laps ago, I think about 20 or 30 laps ago now at this point, up into first place now, and whether or not he's still dealing with those same technical woes is yet to be known, but either way, the 43 up here in the front of the pack, leading this race here again, and after qualifying with the best time, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, for the race, I gotta, it's almost to be expected that we're seeing Butch up here right now.
It's definitely to be expected. I would expect nothing less from Butch. Butch is a guy, by the way, Jose, the guy with 4 names, who starts with Jose, he just keyed up and said he's pitting. So he's coming in, and Butch and I have known each other for 25 plus years. We both live in New Jersey. And we've spent a lot of time together. We've been to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway together. We've seen the Formula One Grand Prix, the U.S. Grand Prix at Indianapolis together. He's been to my house. I've been to his house. He's helped me with my computer setup. Just a great all-around guy. He really is. So racing with Butch for the lead is not something that's unfamiliar.
And that's something that I really enjoy about these leagues. All the leagues that I work with here, it's really great to see all the friendships, all the close relationships, and just community that is built within these leagues. And everyone comes together for the same purpose every single week, which is to have fun and to put on a good race. And that's what we see here, and that's why we come back every single week. If we weren't seeing the racing that we're seeing here today, and every single week that we're here, You know, I don't think any of us would be here, but I think we're seeing some pretty fantastic racing here today, Rick, and I think all of our drivers here are enjoying themselves on track. I know that I certainly would be if I was on the field, but with Butch Davis and Nate Siefker first and second place, starting to follow single
Yellow
file.
flag, yellow's out.
Ooh, yellow is out. Ron Hollifield gonna be, ooh, look at that. The Pennzoil 44 machine absolutely mangled here. Let's take a look at this instant replay and see what happens here to the 44. Looking up here as he works.
Walsh.
Yeah.
Jake Walsh just came on the radio and said, I think one of my front wings might be missing. So they're checking on that. So Walsh may have been involved as well.
It looks like he was involved, and it looks like Walsh did lose his front. Oh, wow. Oh, no. He got creamed by another driver. Oh, man. Rick, this is quite the carnage here. So I'm trying to see what driver that is.
Oh, boy.
That collided in with him. I think that might have been Yari Brupatcher, possibly. But yeah, as Ron Hollifield gets sideways out of turn 2, he goes up into the wall and collides with Yari.
The report comes from the officials. Car 89 is going to receive an EOL for the incident.
Really? Okay. All right. So that was not Yari that collided with the 44 of Ron Hollifield that time around. But still, that was an absolutely aggressive wreck.
By the way, did you see that fake out coming into the pits?
I did not, but
Butch, Nate, and myself were going left, right, and we finally all decided to pit. That was really funny. You know, if you get a chance, show a replay of that, because that was really funny stuff.
Well, everything is moving much faster here in the timing here, but as drivers get themselves a little bit of a break here in the pits and get themselves back out onto the track behind the pace car and get themselves ready to go for the next green flag start, we're going to take a very quick commercial break. We will be right back. Stay tuned for more of the Sim Racers Edge Alpha Series presented by Ecency.com, and we will be right back for more.
Ecency, okay. Ecency, it's great. I'm having a blast driving around. Yeah, that was a fast lap.
Hey, Jeff.
Yeah?
What are you doing, man?
I'm just writing a quick post to the Need for Speed community on Ecency.
A what for who community?
The Need for Speed community. It's the community on Hive that's all about racing.
How do I get into this?
Just go to Ecency.com, sign up for an account, and download the app.
Dude, that's really cool. But now you gotta go.
Yeah, I'm on there every day.
No. I mean, go, man. Go.
Okay, let's go.
Got 2 monitors.
All right, folks, welcome back to the Sim Racers Edge Alpha Series for the Tricky Triangle 120. I think it's that right. That's the right one. Either that or it's the Tricky Triangle 500. I'm a little confused as to what it actually is. 500 sounds like the right one, so we're going to go with the 500 even though it says the 120. Ignore that. We're just kind of doing things here kind of on the fly as we go along here, but things are going well. The race is going well. Second caution that we've seen here tonight. A lot of green flag racing that we've seen here already. And Nate Siefker, Butch Davis, and Rick Ravon, our in-race reporter, going to be starting first, second, and third on this restart. Rick, how are you feeling on this restart, and what do you think is going to happen here between Butch and Nate?
Oh, they're probably just going to go out of tooth and toenail. Though it's going to be status quo. You know, they're both experienced racers. They're both clean racers, and they're both having a lot of fun. There is stuff at stake here. I mean, Butch, I think is he leading the championship? It's either him or Nate I think they're running 1-2 either way, so they can have fun. It's like I said, it's a wide racetrack. They could do that and not get into trouble. But at the same time, hey, you want to be a little bit careful because both of these guys are at the top right now in the point standings.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of points, let's take a very quick look at our point standings right now after race 4 last week. Butch Davis currently holding on to the lead with 131 points as it currently stands. Nate Siefker holding on to second place with 121, and Chad Simpson in third place with 103 points. And Chad Simpson not exactly having the best race here today, as he's finding himself in 16th currently. So whether or not he's going to be able to hold on to that third place spot after tonight, and that's going to be a good question as we set up to go green flag racing here once more. The pace car diving down into pit road, and the green flag flies once more here at Pocono for the Tricky Triangle 500. Nate Siefker leading this race going into turn 1. Butch Davis in second with Rick Ravon following just behind that 43 going into turn 1. Butch Davis goes wide. Rick drops down low out of turn 2 down the back straight. They almost touch wheels. Butch Davis able to get out in front, holding on to that second place spot. Let's see if he's able to do that here once more going into turn 2. Nate Siefker getting a little bit of pressure now from the 43 of Butch Davis, going down that second straight out of turn 2 into turn 3. Look at that. Yellow flag is out. Oh, man, oh, man. Let's see who that was. Looks like Lyle Swearingen going to be. Ooh, wow. Yeah, he is absolutely mangled out of turn 2. Oh my, oh my. Right on the entry of turn 3, he is absolutely just crippled in that 68 machine. And that is not a very good replay. Let's back that up here. So as he comes out of turn 2, yep, he gets into the back end. I can't see the number on that car. Gets up into the wall. Oh, man. Collects yet another driver. Spins down the back straight. Oh, man. 3 drivers in total involved. That's the 5 that you see of Mark McFadden. Up off of all 4 wheels. Going for a ride up in the air. Rick, that was, that was not a good wreck. That was very, very rough to see. And Lyle Swearingen definitely, after that, I don't think he's going to be back out on track here tonight.
Well, I didn't see the wreck, so I can't tell if he's got that much damage, but you could see it. But Mark McFadden, incidentally, is in his early 70s, believe it or not, and he does race in real life. And he actually does pretty good for his age. So, most impressive. As Butch Davis fakes out like he's going to go into the pits. We only had a lap or so under green, and he thinks people are going to believe that he's actually going to make a pit stop.
And people fell for it. Whether or not they fell for it or whether or not they actually needed to come down into pit road. Butch Davis successfully, I'm sure, got someone to believe that one way or another, as we are on our third caution here tonight. And, that's really kind of the first time that we've seen someone wash up into the top of the track line. And it wasn't really even washing up. It was kind of more or less just not being aware that the driver in front of you was going a little bit slower than you were, which ultimately led to Ron clipping his wing into the rear end of, again, I couldn't catch the number of the car that he hit, but yeah, it's just little things like that can throw the caution out, but we haven't seen a whole lot of that here tonight. It's kind of just one-off situations that we've seen for the most part, and it's been very steady racing, so it's kind of surprising that we're seeing a lot of different unique incidents come out here, and frankly, it's fun to watch, fun to commentate for, but I'm sure that some of the drivers here might be getting a little bit skeptical, maybe.
It could be. Mark McFadden, incidentally, just disconnected due to packet loss, and somebody just got the wave around. I'm trying to see who it was. Ron Hollifield. He was involved in that incident, I believe, and he just got a wave around. So apparently they were able to repair whatever damage was done to his car, and he's back out there.
Yeah, the 44, Ron Hollifield. Okay, so that was the... Interesting. Very interesting. So the Pennzoil machine that was involved in that incident, we've seen washing up into the top of the track. And again, not really necessarily washing up, but just getting a little too close to the guy in front of him. Back out here on track. Very interesting to see here. I wonder if the pit crew had that practice well before the race to get that one down.
Yeah, I don't know, but we have two Pennzoil cars out here. But contrary to what people might believe, they are not teammates.
I could see how that mistake could be made. You see two Pennzoil cars, you think to yourself, they're probably teammates, just running two slightly different schemes. But Rick is here to tell you that is incorrect. They are not teammates.
If there's anybody who's out of race, we're going green here. We're on the Long Pond Straight, the backstretch. But if there's anybody that's out of the race, we should see if we could find them and get an interview with them, if it's possible.
Let's see if that is something we can do here. Quite possibly, we'll have to take a look here. Well, Rick, if you wanna take us green here while I do some go back into the pits real quick and find us a driver to have a conversation with for a moment.
Oh, sure, why not? Let's do it. We're coming through turn 3 right now. Nate Siefker has got the lead. Butch Davis with an incredible comeback after a setback earlier in the race where he came out in the pits practically dead last, sits in second. I'm sitting in third place, and smooth and steady, Chris Simard runs in fourth. Brett Beasley is up to fifth. Dan Bracington is sixth as we're about to go green right now. Nate Siefker begins to accelerate. The green flag comes out and we're racing. The green light actually comes on a little bit earlier than you would anticipate. Even before the pace car goes in the pits, the green is coming out. Nate Siefker leads them down into turn 1. And Butch Davis is about 6 or 7 car lengths behind him. Equally behind Butch am I, Chris Simard. It was a nice, even accelerating start for the top 5. And Nate Siefker still has the advantage as we head for turn number 3.
And out of turn 3, actually, Brett Beasley and Chris Simard, the other Pennzoil paint scheme here out on track. These two drivers in 4th and 5th place now, starting to slowly work their way up to the top 3 currently as they work their way down the front straight. And looking at Chris Simard in that 77 machine now, following behind Rick Ravon, working their way into turn 1. Falling off the pace there just for a little bit, it looks like, but doesn't seem like Chris is going to be off that pace for very long here. And looking behind them, you can see Mike Grandy, Dan Brasington, both almost wheel to wheel as they work their way out of turn 2 down that second straight. And after this restart, third restart here that we've had, we've seen a lot of great consistency between, well, not only the front of the field, but kind of throughout the field. Everyone is doing a great job on these restarts, giving each other room, not pushing each other too aggressively. We've seen a lot of that here tonight, and I want to say that's probably due to the fact that Pocono has a lot of room out on track. There's plenty of space to get around. Yeah, there we go. Look at that. Nate Siefker.
Battle for the lead. Siefker picks up the lead once again.
Siefker back out in the lead. Butch Davis holding on. Oh, there he goes. Down on the inside, going into turn 3. Out the front straight he goes. The 43 back out in front once again. So Nate Siefker he's been the driver that has been swapping that lead back and forth all night between Butch Davis, Rick Ravon. I'm not sure if I'm missing another driver here or not, but either way, the 2 machine has been on a mission tonight at Pocono, and frankly, it's been great to watch. Nate Siefker has done a phenomenal job here of leading this race when he has. And look at that. The move on the inside. Butch Davis, the 43, around the 2 he goes. Out of turn 2 and into 3 he goes. And look at that. Nate Seeker opting to go on the high side out of turn 3. And that's probably just because he didn't have the option to go down low and follow that 43 out of turn 3. But here he goes into turn 1, taking another stab at the lead here once more. So I expect to see these two kind of swap in between one another for quite some time. But right now, Chris Simard, Rick, he's starting to slowly work his way towards your rear wing. What do you think here is on the mind of Chris Simard? Do you think he's going to possibly crack his way into the top 3 here, or do you think he's just kind of hanging out?
No, not anytime soon, because Chris is a very smooth, smart racer, and he's got a lot of patience. Chris knows that, now's not the time to do it. These two guys up front, and by the way, I'm staying back here because I don't want to get involved if, God forbid, something goes wrong. These guys are fighting pretty hard, but Chris is just being very patient. He'll turn it up when it's necessary, but now is not the time.
Yeah, absolutely. And I got to agree with you there. We're just about, I think actually now we are at the halfway point in the race, just over the halfway point actually. And there's still plenty of racing left to do. I don't think there's really any reason to kind of be on that aggressive mindset, if you will, going into this final half of the race. Now, Butch Davis, Nate Seeker, on the other hand, these two drivers have been kind of duking it out, swapping back and forth that first place spot for some time now. But that's we've seen that all race, and these two definitely know what they're doing. Rick Ravon also definitely knows what he's doing here as he works his way back into that second place spot almost, but Butch Davis still able to hold on to it there for just a moment. But look at these guys. 4 of these drivers up here in the front, all getting very, very close to one another. Let's actually ride. Oh, wow, look at this. Butch Davis down on the inside of Nate Seeker. As soon as I want to change to an onboard camera of these guys, they swap places, and then it would just ruin the whole view. And, man, the life of a producer, Rick.
Get it from my end car. I can see everything.
Let's actually do that. Let's ride on board here from the 17 of Rick Ravon, or the 7 machine, whichever number SDK decides next week. We'll see. But look at here, you can see the battle between these two drivers up front. Butch Davis, Nate Seeker coming out the second straight here, going into turn 3. Butch Davis staying down low, opting to take that bottom line. Nate staying up high. Seems to be that he's able to maintain his pace up there, and then this is where he makes his attack. Into turn 1, down on the bottom line on the inside of that 43. And we're going to see the same exact thing happen next turn around. I can almost guarantee it. Watch here. We're going to keep staying on board here with Rick Ravon. Look here. Going into turn 2, watch Butch Davis. He's going to set himself up here.
There he goes.
Down into turn 3, down the bottom, and it's going to repeat itself time and time again. These drivers are going to continue to do this and swap places with one another until someone messes up. Or green flag, pit stops, start, whatever the case may be. There's a million different things that could happen here in this race. But looking right now at Dan Brazington in the 29 and 6th place, kind of just working our way through the field here a little bit and seeing how everyone is doing out on track. Dan's actually looking to start his way into the top 5 if he can stay on the tail of the 69 of Brett Beasley as they come out of turn 2 down the second straight here. It looks like Dan not quite able to maintain the same pace here as the 69. That's another interesting thing here that I'm noticing, Rick, that we're seeing some drivers, once they kind of get into their own pocket of air.
Yeah, I just took the lead, by the way.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh, look at
Woo-hoo!
this.
That was fun.
So Rick Ravon, our in-race reporter here, definitely doing an incredible job in this race. Look at that, 3 wide into turn 2. Oh, Nate Seeker out in front of Rick Ravon. Butch Davis taking the lead here as they work their way into turn 3, out onto the front stretch. Oh, Rick, it's really tough to keep up with all the action here. You know, everyone is battling all over the place. We've
pretty intense.
It is definitely very intense here. And looking back here at Yari Brupatcher in 10th place right now, he's got Mike Grandy Sr. in his sights for 9th place right now, just under a quarter of a second between these two drivers. And Nate Siefker and Butch Davis, it's even a tighter battle between them. Oh, wow.
That was close.
That looked very, very close. Butch Davis probably within inches of the rear end of that 2 machine as they come out of turn 3 down the front straight here once more. Lap 73 of 124 as we cross the line here at Pocono Raceway for the Tricky Triangle 500 for the Sim Racers Edge Alpha Series presented by Ecency.com. Oh, Rick, I gotta say, right now, given how things are kind of starting to look pretty steady, I'm noticing the separation between, it looks like the top 7. No, yes, it is the top 7 all the way to P8. There's about almost 4.5 seconds, 4.25 seconds of distance between these guys. Do you think that there's a large kind of difference in pace between these drivers, or do you think it's just kind of you end up in that part of the track and you're not really able to recover that very easily?
Well, you know, it's hard to say. I mean, iRacing does give you the option with the IR-18 to mess with the roll bars and the weight jackers. So if you get it right, you could stay with these guys. But if you get it wrong, you're going to start drifting back. The other thing is, like I said before, you don't know who's on a fuel conservation run and who's really pushing it. So that's another factor.
Yeah, absolutely.
That'll keep you back there too.
Yeah, and it's one of the things that I always find fascinating about race strategy in general is just how these minor details that aren't even necessarily related to driving the car can affect your overall performance in the race. And these are always things that you kind of have to have in the back of your mind going into a race, and knowing that you might have issues in a certain portion of the track, or you might struggle with holding onto your pace after a certain amount of laps because you're struggling with holding onto the car. Now, granted, this isn't really necessarily the track to use that as an example for, but you get my point. You know, it's just very interesting, all the things that you have to consider as a driver to be able to stay competitive, stay out in the front of the field, as Nate Siefker, Butch Davis, Rick Ravon, and Chris Simard all battle it out here out of turn 3 down the front stretch, all single file here, and just a great view of these drivers here tonight. And Rick, how are you feeling about the race so far? What are your thoughts, and how do you think it's been going so far? And do you think it's going to continue to go this way until the end?
Oh, yeah. It's going to keep going like this. These guys, especially the guys up front, and it looks like the top 6 are separated by about maybe 3 seconds. And as fresh as the tires stay through the run, this is what you're going to see probably till the checkered flag.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you. You know, and we've seen that exact thing with these guys in past races. You know, you guys have been very, very good at keeping these green flag runs. You know, we're always a little skeptical here with Team Goon Squad. You know, it's one thing to say that you're a league that has a lot of green flag runs and not a lot of cautions, but it's another thing to prove it. And so far, it's honestly, it's great to see, Rick. Every single one of these drivers gives it their all. Everyone is doing a phenomenal job every single week, and I look forward to these races. Honestly, it's been great to watch, and personally,
yeah, it's a strange thing. I'm watching Nate Siefker. He enters turn 3 extremely high, and he's the only car that I've seen who's capable of, while he's in turn 3 high, he could dial it down to the inside. Where does he get that grip from? That's incredible.
you know, and I was wondering that myself a little bit ago. I was watching how he was tackling, just keeping Butch Davis on his behind him, really. And yeah, it's just a really interesting driving style that he has here. He's really able to hold on to that car extremely well, keep it in line, in a spot that you really wouldn't think that you'd be able to, at least easily. Not saying that it's impossible, but it's definitely not simple. It's not easy.
You see right there how he dialed it down? He was running high, and all of a sudden he went down to the inside like it was nothing. That's incredible, actually.
So great driving from the two of Nate Siefker here as he retakes the lead once again. Butch Davis going to be in second place with Rick Ravon in third. Currently still all three of these drivers having stayed out in the top three for, I would have to say, at least the last 20, 30 laps, if not more. And look at this, Butch Davis, here he goes again, repeating the process down on the inside of the two machine of Nate Siefker. Retaking the lead, actually before he even makes it to the entry of turn 1, able to work his way around the two with just speed alone. So, you know, it's really interesting to see these guys, how they're battling right now. I'm kind of curious how they're doing on fuel right now.
They're coming in. They're coming in.
Oh.
As a matter of fact, we're all coming in right now.
Here we go, folks. Pit stops are going to start this time around. Our in-race reporter telling us that here it goes. As we watch for anyone coming in a little bit hot, a little aggressive. Second, oh, look at that, a slide from Jeff Hollingsworth, it looks like. Nope, that was Jeffrey Rowlett, I believe that was. With a slide job across the line. Hopefully that doesn't serve a speeding penalty, but looks like only a chunk. Looks like a half a dozen of the field coming down into pit road here. Brett Beasley going to be out in first currently. Timmy Bates in second, and Yari Brupatcher and Jeff Hollingsworth going to be third and fourth right now. But there he goes, Brett Beasley. Next time around, coming down here into pit road. So a lot of these.
Flag. Yellow comes out right after the pit stops. This could be interesting. Now, it's a 2.5-mile racetrack. I'll let you in on a little something here. A track like this, with this size, same thing with Indianapolis. You can make a pit stop under green and still come out in front of the leader. So this isn't really going to affect things that much.
So really just a very oddly timed yellow flag here, and I'm not able to see what caused it either. I don't see the incident itself. Let me see if this gives us anything here. So we're looking at Timmy Bates, it looks like, in the 21. Taking a look here, we're still looking. I don't think this is what brought out the caution. Doesn't seem like it is. It is not. Okay, so not exactly sure what happened there to bring this caution out. Very interesting.
All right, word comes to us that the 77 car, that is Chris Samard, had a self-spin on the racetrack. So maybe you could go back and check out and see what happened there and how it happened.
Let's see. Okay. All right, so looking here, so this is Chris Samard leaving pit road. Now let's see if there's, it might have happened in, okay, he's exiting pit road. Everything's looking calm. Is it a spin into one? Yes, it is. Okay, so as he comes out of pit road, enters into turn one and gets a little loose, goes sideways down on the apron. Doesn't involve anyone else, just a lone car incident there on that one, but a little bit of investigating work there we had to do to get that one, but we pulled it off.
Well, it looks like that brand new paint job at 77 of Chris Samar didn't bring him much luck here today. Let's hope he gets does a little better next week, or actually 2 weeks from now. We're gonna have a week off, so SRE is not running next week, and then we go to Barber Motorsports Park. That'll be a fun one.
Absolutely. Barber Motorsports Park going to be an interesting one here as well. Correct me here, Rick. Is that going to be the road course, or is that the oval?
Oh, no, there is no Barber Oval, so that's definitely a road course, and it's a good road course. It's a fun one. It's got ups and downs, like elevation changes and swooping corners and tight corners. It's definitely a fun road course racetrack. That is definitely a challenge, but you'll look to see Nate Siefker probably dominate that one. But there's a sleeper out there. His name is David Cook. He's a teammate of mine. He's not here tonight. He hasn't been able to make the last few races because of his work schedule. Unfortunately, we committed to a full season here in SRE, but because of his work schedule, I kind of said, well, I guess I'll just jump in the booth. That's why I'm gonna be in the booth next week, and from that point on up until Indianapolis, where I'll resume my role as the in-car commentator, because I cannot miss the Indianapolis 500. Just not going to happen.
Absolutely. And I don't know why I had the idea that there was an oval at Barber. Not sure where I got that idea from, Rick. I can't tell you how many tracks I commentate for during a week, and information gets a little crisscrossed every now and then. It's bound to happen. But anyway.
Well, sure. Of course.
But
incidentally, Brett Beasley picked up the lead through the round of pit stops. I don't know if Brett pitted or not, because I was busy with my pit stop. But the way Nate Siefker and Butch Davis have been running, you could expect them to probably make quick work of Beasley, and Beasley will probably drop out of the top three and maybe maintain. That's the prediction, just based on what I know of these two, because they've been really going at it hard. And I don't think Brett is interested in doing that right now.
Yeah, and being that this is Brett's first time up here in the front for this race, at least in particular, I'm going to be curious to see how the 6'9" is going to be able to handle the pressure here, especially from that of Nate Siefker and Butch Davis, and of course yourself included in that, Rick, as you are also in fourth place still. Yeah, I'm almost going to be expecting Brett to maybe possibly put up a little bit of a fight here and probably ultimately hand it off to either Nate Siefker or Butch Davis.
I don't think you're going to see Brett fight very hard. Nate is on a mission. Butch is running right there with him, and those guys are going to be hyper aggressive. And I think the first time you see Nate, as we go green, first time you see Nate make a move, Brett is just going to say, "Okay, you want it that bad? Go and take it."
Let's find out what's going to happen here into turn one. Nate Siefker in second place. Brett Beasley with a little bit of a gap between himself and second place right now. Let's see how long that holds on. Nate Siefker quickly on the charge down the back straight, working his way into turn two. There he goes down the bottom of the 6'9" of Brett Beasley, taking the lead once again. Butch Davis now also on the charge here towards the rear of that 6'9", down on the around the outside, out of turn three, down the front straight. Ooh, wow.
Right by him. Let's see how hard Brett tries to fight back to get back into the top two. I don't think you're going to see that happen.
Yeah, we're gonna keep an eye up here in the front. We're gonna see how these guys kind of keep battling up here. It kind of almost seems like Brett Beasley falling off the pace just a smidgen, as Nate Siefker here and Butch Davis both duke it out once again, as they've been doing for practically the majority of this race here. Butch Davis taking the lead once more. And checking back in here with some of our drivers towards the kind of in the top 10. Jeff Hollingsworth in 7th place right now. He's on the charge of Jeffrey Rowlett. Ooh, wow. Okay, I don't know why it looked like someone was spinning there for a second to me. But it definitely looked like someone smacked the wall for a second. But either way, Jeff Hollingsworth is going to be in that 97 machine on the charge of Jeffrey Rowlett in that 66. And behind them, we got a 4-car battle here for that 9th place spot. Bentley Glazer going to be holding on to 8th in that 7 machine currently as they work their way out of turn 2, down the 2nd straight. Timmy Bates in the 21 still on the charge here, and a lot of these guys opting to settle single file, not really taking too many risks, too many chances here, trying to play it safe here as we are on lap 89 of 124. Just over 30 laps left to go here before we see the white and checkered flag fly for the end of the race here. And Butch Davis has taken the lead. I'm pretty sure he already did before. I'm all over the place here, folks. Nate Siefker,
just
though.
Like that, Nate takes it back.
Yep, Nate Siefker, Butch Davis kind of doing this back and forth here for this first place spot. And Brett Beasley still lingering in that 3rd place spot here as well. And Rick still holding on to 4th right now. What are you kind of planning here as we're kind of getting closer and closer to the end of the race here?
Well, you can't win the race unless you finish the race. So, the idea is just kind of get to the end, really. But you also realize that there's only one pit stop left, and that's for everybody. Nobody's going to be able to save fuel from this point and have any kind of an advantage. So this is the point where everybody's really going to turn it up, because literally everybody has one pit stop left.
So with only one pit stop left and just over 30 laps to go, 35 by my count. Yeah, there's not really a whole lot of time left as far as if you were planning on winning this race. I think at this point you pretty much have to be up there with Nate Siefker, Butch Davis, Brett Beasley, and Rick Ravon in this top 4 pack. Otherwise, it's going to be a challenge to catch back up and reel these guys back in, especially as there's starting to look like almost a 2-second gap here from Bentley Glazer's spot here in the 7th. Right now, there's almost a second between himself and 5th place Chad Simpson. So, Rick, as things kind of start to wind down here and settle out as far as positions are concerned, and with only one pit stop really left to go, is our top 3 starting to look pretty well solidified, you think, or do you think there's a possibility that we're going to see someone else sneak their way into this into a podium tonight?
Well, it's really hard once you get about 3 cars in front of you. It's really hard. The draft just kills you, as you just saw right there. I don't know if you were watching that, but starting to close in on Brett Beasley. I'm going to see if maybe there's something I could do here. If Brett goes low, I'll stick it up high. And now he's getting caught with that dirty air, and I was able to slide right by him. So now I'm in a decent spot right here. I'm just going to stick with Butch and Nate, because Brett has the dirty air from 3 cars, and that's going to affect him. So we'll just, you've got to be up here with the top 3 to have a real shot at this thing. And I think that you're going to see the 3 of us kind of hang on, and I think you might see the 3 of us fight it out for the win before this is over.
It's definitely shaping up to be that way, it looks like. Butch Davis, Nate Siefker still wheel-to-wheel in most scenarios. Rick Ravon in 3rd, and Brett Beasley in 4th, with Chad Simpson in 5th. As the race has started to look pretty steady here for quite some time, we're going to take a quick commercial break here in the booth. We will be right back after just a minute. Stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back for more Sim Racers Edge Alpha Series presented by ecency.com. We will be right back. Stay tuned for more.
I recently joined Ecency and discovered the Need for Speed community. It's the perfect place for me to share my simulation driving experience with people all around the world. Thanks in no small part to all the support from Ecency, Sim Racers Edge is able to stream our races live each week for all our fans. I invite you to join Ecency today to follow Sim Racers Edge all season long.
And we're back, folks, for the Tricky Triangle 500, and it looks like we came under a yellow flag while we were on break there. That was probably poor timing on my part, but either way, as we check back in with here our field.
It may have had something to do with Ron Hollifield, incidentally, because he just disconnected from the server, so...
All right, let's take a look here if we can spool up a replay of Ron Hollifield, the other Pennzoil paint scheme here today. As he works his way, I think that's turn 3, it looks like. It's on the bottom line. Everything looks relatively calm. Yep, he's coming out of turn 3. Oh, there it goes. The back end gets away from him.
And there you go.
Goes sideways down the front straight, locks up all 4. Let's see why. Yep, collides with the wall. But it doesn't really seem like that bad of a wreck here. Let's see if there's anyone else that collects into him. Nope, he's alone there on the field. So not really the worst wreck I've seen, but maybe just ultimately not too satisfied having been involved in that anyway. But look at that, a fake out. Almost. It looks like from Butch Davis. Yeah, it looks like Butch Davis was trying to fake the field out there or something, but
I was coming into the pits no matter what.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot. We were expecting that pit stop to happen here. This is the final pit stop of the race here today. So, Nate Siefker, Brett Beasley going to be staying out here, and everyone else coming out on fresh tires.
Siefker's, yeah, he's going to be on slightly older tires, but not old tires. So Siefker's still in a good spot. It'll be interesting to see how Butch handles Nate, and for that matter, for how I handle him. But, you know, they're still probably in the 90s because we still had about 7 gallons left in the tank. So I would imagine that Nate's tires are still around 95%. So the only difference being is that when we pit, we're only going to have to put a little bit of fuel in. It's going to take a little bit more time when Nate pits. He's got to put more fuel in that car. So we'll see if that hurts Nate.
Yeah, going to be looking here to see what happens to Nate, if he's going to be able to hold on to this first place spot here, considering that he's going to have to come down pit road here, and I'm going to assume I don't want to curse anything. This isn't commentator's curse. That's barring if we just stay green. Now, that's a point here I want to make here, Rick. If we stay green, knowing that Nate is going to have to come down pit road, do you think he's going to be able to hold on to first, or do you think he's going to be forced out of that first place spot?
That depends. Everybody still has to make one stop. I don't think you can conserve enough to get to the end. Let's see how much longer this yellow goes. It's going to be pretty close, actually. There might be somebody who can steal the win by conserving fuel. 1 lap to green. That's another lap that you can conserve fuel. It's close as it is. So this is going to be interesting as we head for the last 26 laps.
That's right. Yeah, and as we work our way into turn one, you know, all race long we have seen Nate Siefker, Butch Davis, Rick Ravon, again, our in-race reporter here tonight. All three of these drivers doing an incredible job staying out in the front of the field. And I got to give credit to Nate Siefker, honestly. You know, Nate has done a phenomenal job here of just ultimately battling with everyone that he's encountered to maintain this first place spot. Now, granted, he's seen that first place spot be given to not only yourself, but as well as Butch Davis, and I'm pretty sure I'm missing another driver here. But my point being, Nate hasn't given up. And with 124 laps here at Pocono, that is definitely a tall order to tackle. And I think Nate has definitely played a lot of his cards right here. We'll see if after this final pit stop, if that's going to continue on for him and if he's going to be able to hold on to this first place spot here. But right now, there's still a lot of racing left to do here as we work our way into turn 3. We're going to come out onto the front straight, and we're going to see that green flag fly here once more. And this time around, let's actually ride on board from the gyro cam of our in-race reporter, Rick Ravon, this time around. And let's just kind of get a view of this restart between these drivers up here because this has just been wild every single time here. Green flag flies once more here at Pocono for the Tricky Triangle 500. Drivers charging their way down into turn 1. Nate Siefker, you can see out in front. Brett Beasley trying to keep up with him. Rick Ravon working his way on the inside of Butch Davis, able to take that third place spot for only just a moment, but Butch Davis giving him a little bit of pushback here, staying on his outside, almost touching wheels, it looks like there for just a moment. Rick able to get out in front of the 43 once again as they work their way into turn 3. Out onto the front stretch.
Butch Davis is in full conservation mode. There's no doubt in my mind the way he's falling back right now. He feels that he can make it to the end. He could be the one in the catbird seat right now.
And with 25 laps left to go, will that be the strategy to beat here at Pocono? As Butch Davis now in 5th place. But again, we've mentioned already that drivers are going to have to come down into pit road here. But as Rick just mentioned, Butch seems to be in conservation mode. He's going to be conserving as much fuel as he possibly can here all the way till the very, very end. And 25 laps left to go here. Not necessarily the longest bit of racing that you have here tonight, as we've had 124 laps here in total. Look at this, 3 wide down the front straight into turn 1. Timmy Bates in the middle of this 3 wide sandwich into turn 1. Oh man, Timmy Bates stays confident there in the middle, able to hold on to the 8th place. Chris Simard in the 77 machine, staying out just in front of that 21, and just behind him, Jeffrey Rollett in the 66. That was, oh man, Rick, that was quite intense. These guys were giving it their all going into one.
Well, you want to see intense, take a look at the lead.
Look at this, our in-race reporter on the tail of the 17, or excuse me, of the 2 of Nate Siefker into turn 1. He's on the outside. Oh, here we go down the back straight. Nate Siefker still charging that 2 machine down the back straight. As these drivers get themselves set up to work their way into turn 2, you can see Brett Beasley in that 3rd place spot. He has, well, found himself in a spot really to just kind of observe here. Look at the distance between these two as they duke it out coming out of turn 3. Down the front straight, across the line, it's going to be 22 to go. Rick Ravon swings it down low, preparing them for turn 1. Nate Siefker going to be set up high here. Rick taking the lead for just a moment, but we'll see who stays out on top coming down the back straight here. Uncle Bonehead in the chat, wouldn't it be funny if the race reporter won? You know, I think it would be pretty funny.
Yeah, maybe if that happens, maybe I should stay as the race reporter.
Well, Rick Ravon here as he continues to charge on the outside of the 2 of Nate Siefker. And frankly, I don't know how Rick is able to keep himself chatting and racing this hard. It's
25 years, brother. 25 years I've been doing this.
Whew, that's actually as long as I've been alive. So, but anyway, here, folks, we've got incredible racing here. 21 laps left to go. This race is going to be heating up, and it's been just as slowly simmering away this whole time, all the way up here until this point. Rick Ravon taking back the lead once again, as he did towards the beginning of this race earlier. And Nate Siefker, we're going to see it again. These 2 drivers battling it out here once more, and I'm sure Rick is probably he's probably ready to have this battle here once again and be able to have another opportunity to lead some laps, and especially with 20 to go. Man, what a race. This has been incredible from start to finish, and I can't imagine that there would be any other exciting racing that is on right now currently. Oh, excuse me. As Rick Ravon, Nate Siefker still duking it out. First and second place, you can see Brett Beasley and Bentley Glazer now actually starting to slowly creep their way up into the lead here. Rick Ravon, Nate Siefker way down on the bottom of the track, coming up high into turn 1 here. Oh man, this is interesting here, guys. So Brett Beasley, Bentley Glazer, both of these guys going to be single file. You also have Butch Davis, Chris Simard, all following single file here, just kind of reeling in our leaders here currently as they continue to duke it out side by side. 19 laps left to go. Oh, look at that. Bentley Glazer drops it way down on the bottom of the track to try and get around the 69 of Brett Beasley. And is it going to be successful as he works his way into turn 1, out on the back straight? And it is. Bentley Glazer now going to be in 3rd place. Oh, there's a lot of battles heating up here, folks, all over the track, whether it's up front, in the middle, in the back. Really doesn't matter. Everyone is giving it their all here. 18 laps left to go here at Pocono. Oh, man, this has been incredible driving from all of our drivers here tonight. As we look here, Kevin O'Brien, that 84 machine in 12th place currently. Going into turn 1, these 2 drivers. Oh, these guys almost looking like they were wanting to go too wide, too deep there for a second, but opting to fall. Single file here, but looking back up front, Rick Ravon, Nate Siefker. These guys looking like they're actually going to go too wide, too deep here in just a few turns. Nate Siefker down on the inside in turn 3 with Rick Ravon on the outside coming down the... Oh, here we go. Pit stops have started. Nate Siefker coming down into pit road. Rick Ravon going to be leading our race here as Bentley Glazer in the 7 machine going to be taking that 2nd place spot. 16 laps left to go here. Butch Davis also still out here on track in that 43 machine, so we're still also going to be looking for that 43 to be extending his fuel strategy here and possibly take it ultimately as long as he possibly can here. So we're paying attention to Butch Davis as well. Look at this. Bentley Glazer on the inside of the 17 of Rick Ravon coming out of turn 3 down the front straight. But
he's going to pit.
Yep, that's going to give Bentley Glazer the open door for pit window, and he's going to take that as his opportunity. Ooh, a little bit of smoke there on pit road. It looks like someone locked up their tires pretty significantly, as it would seem. But look at this here. Look at this battle between Chad Simpson and Timmy Bates for 4th place. Timmy Bates going to fall back behind the 42 of Chad Simpson, now falling single file going into turn 2. Down the 2nd straight. Charging their way to turn 3. And as the rest of the field works their way back out onto track after their pit cycles, we can see Nate Siefker, 12th place right now currently. But this is it. This is it for Nate. It's make it or break it. This either has to work or it's not going to work at all. I'm very curious to see where this 2 machine is going to end up once the rest of the field makes its way down here into pit road with 14 to go. And I have a feeling here it's going to be very quickly here that we're going to see the rest of the field start its final pit stop cycle for the night. And Rick, I got to ask you, you're starting to get pretty close there. I gotta imagine. How are you feeling up there right now?
Well, I'm feeling pretty good. I'm just trying to think about the others' pit strategy and race strategy, who's conserving. From what I'm seeing right now, I really don't think that Butch can make it. He started to conserve, but he's still only 1.8 seconds back, and he would be the absolute master if he could conserve that much fuel to get to the end of the race. But we'll just have to wait and see what happens. Chris Simard right now is running me down in the draft. I was hoping to shake that draft, but I wasn't able to do it. But we'll see what happens. It looks like we have 12 laps to go.
Yep, 12 laps to go as we cross the line. And Chris Simard coming down here into pit road.
Simard is in the pits.
Yep, Simard in pit road. Butch Davis still sticking it out. Going to be in second place now. Oh, yeah. Rick, I really am curious to see if Butch Davis is going to try and stick it out all the way till the very end of the race. I've seen it done before, not necessarily with the IndyCar, with the IR-18, but I've seen it done before where drivers have come across the line on quite literally fumes and win a race that way. It's definitely not something I would recommend or attempt to do as a driver, but it definitely is incredible to witness when it does happen. So Butch Davis going to be still in second place now, and Timmy Bates in that third place spot, also followed behind with Chad Simpson in fourth. Currently, these 3 drivers all kind of in a little pack here. Butch Davis in the lead of this 3-driver pack here as they work their way out of turn 2 down the second straight here. Now, given that 11 laps left to go here, with still more drivers having to come down here into pit road, oh man, I'm getting a headache trying to think of how this field is going to end up. There's really no real way to, I guess.
Well, Butch is in full conserve mode right now, running in second. I'm leading it, obviously. But Butch dropped back. Now he's 4.3 seconds behind me. So my plan is to get in and out of the pits as quick as I possibly can and see where Nate is. But if Butch can make it to the end of the race, there's your winner.
Absolutely, yeah. If Butch can pull this off, if he can make it all the way till the end of the race without coming down pit road, I mean, for one, he should get a medal. But 2, that would just be an incredible way to take home a win here at Pocono. I mean, that's just, I don't think there is a better way that you could plan an end of a race like that. I mean, you don't exactly want to end a race with no gas in the tank. That's not ideal. But if you're in the situation where it's kind of tooth and nail for the lead, for the win, I can't really think of another way to win a race other than that, frankly.
Well, take a look at Butch Davis. He's running right with Tim Bates and Chad Simpson. They're all running right together, and they're dropping like a stone behind me. I'm pulling away like crazy. I'm not conserving whatsoever. They make it to the end. The 3 of them might be battling for the win.
And that very well might be 8 laps left to go here. Things are going to be wrapping up here very quickly, and not very many laps left to go here, folks. And drivers are clicking off laps of about 42 seconds, roughly. So there's not really there's not a lot of time left here, guys. You know, this is the time to make it or break it, and to really make your shot count, so to speak. But Rick Ravon, like you said, he's out in front. He's taken away this lead right now. Rick, you have a 7.5 second gap between yourself and Butch Davis in second place right now, and that might partially be a little bit because they've got a single car of lap traffic in front of them. Not necessarily the biggest deal in the world, probably not even hindering them, but
they're conserving. Now they're in real time 8.4 seconds back now. They are, all three of them are conserving fuel, trying to make it to the end, and that's what they're doing. There's no way they would be dropping back that quick. They're in full conservation mode right now.
So being in full conservation mode, all these drivers trying to use as little fuel as possible, and maintain their positions as much as they can. You know, you don't want to be too slow that you're able to get past, but you also don't want to be too fast that you're burning through your fuel and that you're not going to have enough to finish the race here. And it's
excuse me, I'm sorry. And speaking of fuel, I'm coming in on this lap.
Okay, that's a interesting bit of information here, folks. So Rick Ravon, as well as Butch Davis, Timmy Bates, Chad Simpson, Jose Vigora, all 5 of these drivers came down pit road lap 96. Okay, so 5 to go. Rick is coming down into pit road right now as we speak, with 4 to go once these guys cross the line, assuming that they stay out. Rick, how close do you think these guys are going to be cutting it if they decide to stay out and not come down pit road?
They're cutting it very, very, very close.
And I have to wonder myself personally just how much fuel exactly they are working with right now, as Timmy Bates now takes the lead. Butch Davis falls back quite hard all the way to 3rd place now. I think Butch Davis is kind of sensing things are going to start happening here very, very quickly. Drivers are going to be coming down into pit road knowing that they're probably not going to have enough fuel to make it across the line here once the checkered flag flies. But Butch Davis here, ooh, Rick, I don't know. I think Rick here, he's definitely trying to make this last as long as he can. 3 laps left to go. 2 more before we see the white flag. Man, oh gosh, I'm Rick. I'm on the edge of my seat here. I'm trying to watch everyone here, but it's impossible.
Well, Siefker's trying to run me down. Bentley Glazer's trying to run me down. Those guys are trying to conserve fuel and stay at the front. This is not going to be easy. There's still many different scenarios how you could win this race.
Yeah, absolutely. 3 to go coming out of turn 3 down the front straight. Timmy Bates in the 21 still in the race lead. 2 to go as we cross the line. Oh, here we go into turn 1. A little bit of lap traffic here involved. Butch Davis down on the inside of the 21. Around he goes, taking the lead here. Down the back straight, out of turn 2, charging towards turn 3. Butch Davis holding on into first place. Will he be able to cross the line for the win here at Pocono with only fumes in the tank? Timmy Bates in the 21 holding on to second place here. All of these drivers here that you're seeing on your screen are all going to be coming across the line on basically nothing for fuel. As Butch Davis, look at this. I think Butch Davis has opened up he's stomped on this pedal here, Rick. I think he is charging his way to the end here. Butch Davis in the lead, out of turn 1, and nothing but clean air around him as he works his way down the back straight. Timmy Bates still in second place. Chad Simpson in 3rd, and nothing but air between these drivers. I think this is pretty much settled out here, and I can't believe that we've had, looks to my count, five drivers that have all extended this strategy all the way till the end here, as Butch Davis now comes across the line for the win for the Tricky Triangle 500 here at Pocono. For the Sim Racers Edge Alpha Series presented by ecency.com, Timmy Bates coming across the line for second and Chad Simpson in third. Not how I was expecting this race to end. What a way for the race to end here tonight, Rick. What are your thoughts? You know, we've seen 5 drivers all push their pit strategy to the very end, coming across the line on, I'm assuming, nothing in the tank. Did you expect that?
I didn't know what to expect. I knew it was going to be close on fuel, and if anybody could get to the end, it's Butch, and he took Tim Bates and Chad Simpson with him. I'm sorry I didn't get to see that little battle there for the win, but the battle for fourth place. Wait, fourth? Kevin O'Brien finished fourth. Where am I? We finished sixth. The battle between me and I was so focused on the battle between me and Nate Siefker, and there was a lot of left and right and blocking going on, and that was an incredible fight. And I'm not surprised to see Butch take it. He's probably the most shrewd, the most cunning guy on the racetrack. So congratulations to Butch Davis, who just notches his second win of the season.
Yeah, absolutely. What an incredible race from all of our drivers here tonight as we watch Butch Davis burn down Pocono here today. And after a well-fought victory here tonight, we're going to go on and move into our post-race interviews. Going to start getting our drivers sorted out here, up here in the booth, and ready to go for their post-race interviews here. Rick, if you would like to stick around and ask a couple questions for our drivers up here in the podium, you are more than welcome here. Sorry.
Nah, man, I'm out of here. I'm so upset I lost. I'm out. Goodbye. No, I'm only kidding. Of course.
Looking here, actually, it looks like Butch Davis is getting a tow. He's getting pushed. I can't tell which driver that is. That's Lyle Swearingen. Lyle pushing the 43 of Butch Davis back into pit road. Love to see that. Love to see that. All right, so we got all our drivers ready for their post-race interviews. Let's start off with Chad Simpson in the 42 machine for tonight's race. Chad, do you have a read, sir?
I got you.
Chad, after a up and down race here tonight at Pocono, I mean, we've seen leaders up and down the field practically all night. It looked like Nate Siefker, Butch Davis, possibly even Rick Ravon here was going to take away the win, but you guys out there on in the top 5, you all came in lap 96 and stayed out all the way till the very end. Was there kind of some mutual communication going on there? Kind of some strategy going on? What was going on through your mind, Chad, and what ultimately led to your success here tonight and taking home third?
Well, between me and Butch, when we saw how many laps there were to go, we knew from practice, we knew what our number was. We knew that we could do that. So, we're teammates. We made that call. It worked out. We were just trying to find some draft, save that number. And yeah, that was really up and down for both of us. He went to the back, came back up. I had to go to the back, came back up. I got punted by Yari coming onto pit road and got a speeding penalty because of it. I had to go to the back. Eventful. It was eventful.
Absolutely. Rick, you got anything for Chad tonight?
Nah, not really. No, I'm only kidding. Chad, there's Rick Ravon up here in the booth with you. How you doing, man? Great job finishing on the podium again this season.
It's been not the best start to the season, but getting back on the podium is nice.
Well, my question for you is, Butch Davis, your teammate, has been extremely tough. Now, you are the defending champion of this series from last season. Are you getting a little bit concerned? I know you guys are teammates and you work together, but how bad do you want to defend that title? And how concerned are you that Butch has just been running so strong?
I already got my championship if we can keep it in house, that's the best. It doesn't matter to me who wins it as long as it's with us.
So you're telling me that since you've won that championship, now you're just going to go out there and relax? You're not going to try as hard?
Yeah, let's just go ride. We'll do some racing. That's it.
Well, Chad.
Well, that's all I got for you, Chad.
Well, Chad, I want to thank you for coming up here and chatting with us in the booth, and I want to congratulate you for taking home third tonight. That was both myself and Rick were both kind of fascinated by the fact that you guys were holding out for as long as you did, not coming down pit road for that final pit stop. But Chad, before I let you go here tonight and before you celebrate, is there anyone watching the broadcast, anyone at home that you want to shout out or thank before you head out?
We got to thank Satellite Racing, FBR Motorsports, EastNC.com, SimMotion, you guys with the broadcast, SRE. The league has gotten so much better than it was just a year ago. The driving standards and the level of competition here has really stepped up, and that's nice to see from everybody. And also just Slava Ukraini.
Absolutely. Well, Chad, thank you again for coming up here and chatting with us in the booth, and congratulations once again. And I will see you not next week, but the week after for the race at Barber Motorsports Park.
We'll see you then.
All right. You have a great night, Chad.
See you.
Chad Simpson out of the booth in the 42 machine, taking home third tonight for the Tricky Triangle 500. Up next, Timmy Bates in the 21 machine, taking home second. Timmy, sir, do you have a read?
I do. How are you guys doing?
Doing fantastic, Tim. It was honestly, we were up here in the booth. Well, I was up here in the booth. Rick was kind of doing double duty, both driving and commentating at the same time. We were watching you guys up in the front, and personally, I was kind of wondering to myself who was going to be the one to come down pit road, if anyone at all. And all of you guys stayed out. Were you planning on staying out, or were you kind of hoping everyone was going to come down pit road? What kind of ultimately led to yourself staying out and ultimately taking home second place tonight?
So I don't have the talent that a lot of these guys have, and so the only chance for me to get podiums is when I do some strategy, and I'm terrible on green pit stops. So last pit stop, I ran the fuel map 3 for a while earlier in the race, and I did some practicing. It was pretty fast if you're in the draft compared to you fuel map 1, you save some fuel. So we came out that last yellow. I almost pitted again with the one go to just add that 0.2 gallons, but I did and lose all that track position, so I think I started 8th. And when I seen Butch and Chad drop back, I knew the fuel mileage map or the fuel mileage thing was on, and so I dropped down to 3 and trying to turn 3, you just kind of coast through that, and you can catch the guy. You're not passing nobody, but you can get some good time. So I went pretty early in that last stint in saving fuel.
No, Timmy, this is Rick Ravon. Great job
Rick,
tonight.
thanks, bro.
Hey, buddy. I just wanted to tell you that you're kind of breaking up a little bit. I don't know what you're using or if you're moving around the house, but maybe you want to get to a better spot before we continue the interview, because a lot of what you just said, you couldn't quite make out, unfortunately.
Oh, I apologize. I'm sitting right here in the rig. I'm not going anywhere, so I apologize.
Okay.
I'm breaking up.
Actually, now you sound pretty good.
Much better now.
It's so good to see you up there in the podium position, finishing second behind Butch. That's a fantastic run, man. I gotta tell you, that's very impressive. Going into this race, what was your goal? Obviously, you want to win, but realistically, now you just said, which I kind of dispute a little bit. I think you're better than you think you are, but you said that you don't have the talent of these guys. Realistically, going in with that kind of an outlook, where were you expecting to finish? What was your goal? A top 5?
So my goal was top 10. I knew I raced.
10.
Yeah, so I raced some of this on the Open Series is going with us right now, and I raced this just to get some practice with this setup and the draft and things like that, and pits and stuff that I need to work on. So I did race 2 open races in the officials with the same setup, and I knew I could be fast. This league is so talented that with you and all these guys on here, I knew I wasn't going to throw down a hot hot lap, nothing like that. I just, be consistent, stay off that wall, and make the passes. And the tire wear wasn't really there either. So it was like, just try to stay in comp. Now I seen you way up front, and I knew I couldn't. So, but real quick at the end, when I was ahead of Butch and behind the lap car, I, I'm pretty sure if I'd have went before he went, I could have held him off. It was just when do you go, because we were both kind of low on fuel, and and it happens. But
You're
I'll
just
take a
waiting
second
for
place.
that moment to pull the trigger,
Yeah,
right?
and you don't want to pull it too early because you could take a podium and finish, 15th or something like that. So I don't want that to happen either.
Well, it worked out pretty darn good for you. The only thing that would have been better was one spot up.
Yeah.
So that's a great job, man, and I'm so glad to see you up there. I know you so well, known you for a few years now, and
Yes,
you're a
sir.
heck of a character. And by the way, after this race, I'll be moving full time to the booth, so you will have one
Hey,
less quote unquote
yeah.
talented guy out there.
Yeah. Awesome, Rick.
Well, Tim, before we let you go here and celebrate your second place finish for tonight's race, is there anyone at home, anyone watching the broadcast that you want to give a shout out to or thank for tonight's race?
Yeah, first, my sponsors, 2X1 Yankees podcast. You can find on Spotify, YouTube, all the platforms. Some Army retirees with me. We do this podcast, so I want to give a shout out to Joel and Brian, and then
Something
my
about
teammate.
a podcast, something about Brian. I'm trying to make this out. I'm sorry, man. I didn't mean to interrupt. You're just breaking up so bad. I heard something
2X1
about
Yankee.
Brian.
2X1 Yankee podcast.
There
Also
you
want to
go.
give a shout out to my teammates Beasley and Bogan. Obviously he couldn't make it tonight, and then obviously the Goon squad for putting this on, and SRE and all the admins that put this race on. It's a lot of fun, and I appreciate it. Thanks.
It most certainly is. Congratulations again, Timmy Bates, and we look forward to seeing you up there again real soon.
Appreciate it, brother.
All right, Timmy Bates, everybody. Let's bring our winner. Let's see if we can get in. There he is, Butch Day. Look at that. He's already celebrating with the champagne. Okay, Butch, hang on a second. Let's get you over here for a couple of comments, champ. Go ahead, Mason.
Butch, sir, welcome up here to the booth, and congratulations on your win here tonight. Butch, the first question that I want to ask you here, we heard earlier in the kind of towards the middle-ish of the race that you were having some technical difficulties, that you couldn't hear anything. Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, I don't know exactly what's going on, equipment issue here, but earlier in the race, I had the lead. We had a yellow flag, but prior to the yellow flag, all of my sound went out. The only thing I had was the spotter from crew chief. So thankfully, I had that at least, but I had no engine sound. Couldn't hear my teammates on Discord, the whole 9 yards.
And he still wins the race.
Wins the race.
We pitted from the lead. I took the time while I was in the pits to make some quick fixes here to get it back up and running. Got the sound going. Came back out the back of the pack and worked my butt off to drive back through the field to get back up to the lead. That might be one of my best races I've ever run.
Well, it definitely was a good one. The strategy came into play late. At what point did you decide, you know what? I'm going to go back there and save fuel because I think we can make it? Because, well, I would say it was right when the green flag came out, because I got by you pretty quick, and I know you. We've been racing, very hard for about 25 years. As soon as I saw you drop back, I said to Mason, he's saving fuel. Butch is saving fuel right now. He's in full conservation mode, and I was right.
Yeah, we were talking before that yellow came out, FBR Motorsports, my guys, Chad and Dan and Jeffrey and Lyle, we were all kind of discussing the fuel issue. And we were going to split the run. So there was about 39 laps left when that one green flag flew. And we figured, all right, run 20, pit, and then boom, you're good to go, and kind of maximize tire life and minimize time in the pit stall. But when that yellow came out, we obviously started crunching numbers, and we're like, man, it's going to be really tight, but we think we can do it. And it definitely wasn't easy.
What map did you go to? Did you go full map 5?
Oh, we were map 5, and I even ran map 8 for a couple laps.
Until the engine starts heating up, right?
Yep, and then drop it back down to 5. And we had to crank it up a little bit early on just to try to stay in the draft because you needed that. Without that draft, you're not going to make the numbers that you need to make it work. And yeah, man, it was just, phew.
Well, it sure made for an exciting finish. Tell us about that last lap. You had Timmy Bates up there, and he was leading the race. At what point, what made you decide it was time to pull the trigger?
We were looking at how much fuel we had left, and coming across the line with 2 to go, I kind of calculated in my head, like, okay, I think I can burn now. And just went to map 1, downshifted the 5th, and just started ripping. And I crossed the line to get the white flag, and I'm looking back, and I'm like, okay, I've got this. I just, they're not going to catch me now. And then I looked at my fuel number, and I'm like, oh, my God, I'm going to run out of gas or fuel or whatever you want to call it, petrol. And I crossed the start-finish line in map 8 with 0.07 gallons of fuel in the tank.
Well, you couldn't have quite calculated it to the decimal any better than that. What a fantastic job. Mason, you got anything for our champ today?
Butch, the only thing that I have for you is that you are a madman behind the wheel, and you did a fantastic job taking home the win tonight. Even despite all the technical woes that you had, you came out on top, and wow, I don't even have any other words for you, Butch. You did phenomenal here, especially at that final pit stop, just sticking it out as long as you did. Maintaining that lead there at the end. Butch, you did a phenomenal job. But I want to thank you for coming up here and joining us in the booth. And before I let you go here and celebrate, crack one open here, is there anyone at home, anyone watching the broadcast that you want to shout out or thank before you go?
Yeah, absolutely. Rick knows I'll have my celebratory glass of chocolate milk in a moment.
Oh, yeah. Nesquik, right? Nesquik. It's got to be Nesquik.
Absolutely. Nesquik powder, man. Definitely want to thank all my teammates at FBR Motorsports. Thank all the administration staff that help keep this league going strong. Thank all the drivers. Without the drivers, we don't have a league. Definitely want to thank you, Mason, and everything that the Goon Squad does for us. Thank Rick for coming up to the booth and participating and kind of pulling double duty tonight.
Oh, that was so much fun.
Yeah, man, it was awesome. Definitely want to thank my family for letting me do this stuff. Say hi to all my friends and family that might be watching tonight or, whenever they get an opportunity to watch this. And yeah, man, it's just racking up the wins, just trying to stay in that points hunt this year, trying to avoid all the mishaps that have happened to me before. Woo! It's a good feeling.
Well, we talked to Chad Simpson earlier, and I hate to tell you this because I'm sure you want his full effort and you want to beat him straight up, but he said he just kind of relaxed after last season. He's got that championship under his belt. As long as he keeps that title, in-house, he'll be happy. But I don't think he's racing quite as hard as he did last season. But I know that you want to win this championship. You're my pick to win the championship. I've told you that a few times during this season. Also, I want to point something out to you. You started first. You finished first. You led 32 laps. And guess how many lead changes there were?
43, baby.
43. The same as that coveted car number that he got from Richard Petty. Huge Richard Petty fan. Butch Davis, congratulations once again. Fantastic job, and we're looking forward to seeing how you do at Barber.
Thank you, gentlemen. Barber's going to be fun. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
All right. Here's Butch Davis, your winner tonight. And you can take it from here, Mason.
Woo, Rick, what a race that we've had here tonight. It's been a fantastic one here for the Tricky Triangle 500 for the Sim Racers Edge Alpha Series, presented by ecency.com. My name is Mason Heimbaugh with Team Goon Squad, joined alongside Rick Ravon tonight.
Who, by the way, turned the fastest lap of the race. I just want to quickly point that out, 41.451. Fastest lap of the race, and that was on lap number 7. So I'm kind of proud of that. I led some laps and had a shot at the win, but got the fastest lap. At least I got something out there.
Absolutely. Well, with that, folks, I want to thank everyone for tuning in and watching. I hope everyone enjoyed. If you did, hit that like button and subscribe. If you haven't already, stay tuned with all the action that we have here on Team Goon Squad 7 days a week. Thank you all for tuning in and watching, and I will see you all for the next race at Barber Motorsports Park. Thank you all
That'll
again.
be in 2 weeks. 2 weeks from now. Not next week. 2 weeks from now is Barber.
2 weeks from now, folks. Same time, same place. My name is Mason Heimbaugh, Rick Ravon. Thank you all for watching, and we will see you all next time.
Driver Carrington